B.V. Narasimha Swami. There is a profound beauty in how the sequence of events unfolded in Bhagwan's life. This was a divine pattern that unraveled itself steadily, and by immersing ourselves in it, we will realize that it is not merely external. This pattern begins to take place within us too. This is the beauty of being with a saint or learning about his life. Our beloved Bhagwan stayed at Skandhasramam between 1916 and 1922, during which time serious spiritual seekers started slowly streaming in. It was during this glorious period that Bhagwan, with a single glance of grace, established each one in inner solitude. It was also during this time that Narayana Guru, a great saint from Kerala, visited him. So impressed and ecstatic was he about Bhagwan's exalted state that he summoned two of his disciples and told them, "Both of you should stay here for 6 months and make necessary arrangements for food and accommodation for visiting pilgrims, thus letting thousands visit the Maharshi every day and benefit spiritually. Let Bhagwan's greatness be made known in the circles of scholars and earnest seekers by your going to them and speaking to them." Thereby, before the act of spreading Bhagwan's glory and message took place, Father Arunachala saw to it that two preparatory steps were accomplished. The first step of recognizing Bhagwan's greatness and giving him a name was accomplished by Kavyakantha Ganapati Muni. Arunachala chose the greatest scholar of that time to name the young Brahmin boy as Bhagwan Sri Ramana Maharshi. As the second step, the teachings had to be organized. For this, Bhagwan enunciated the teaching of Who Am I through Sivaprakasam Pillai, self-enquiry through Gambhiram Sheshayya, and the Sri Ramana Gita through Kavyakantha Ganapati Muni. This accomplished, Father Arunachala sent his son Bhagwan down from his lap to his feet because the time had come for the message to spread. For the third step of spreading the message, Arunachala sent 3 boulders, B.V. Narasimha Swami, Suddhananda Bharati, and Krishna Bhikshu. These 3 scholars were sent to write the biography of Bhagwan containing all his teachings. Today, if we all know about Bhagwan and his teachings, it is in a great measure thanks to their dedication and hard work. B.V. Narasimha Swami wrote Self-Realization, the Life and Teachings of Bhagwan Sri Ramana Maharshi. This was the first book on Bhagwan's life. B.V. Narasimha Swami was unique because he was the first person to dedicate himself to writing Bhagwan's biography in English. He gathered information that ran into 2,000 pages and skillfully cut it down to a concise and readable form spanning 250 pages. It was published in 1930. It was after reading Self-Realization that Paul Brunton, Krishna Bhikshu, Pranavananda, Swami Madhava Tirtha, Shuddhananda Bharati, Swami Sivananda, Swami Ramdas, and an array of spiritual giants came to Ramana Maharshi. While it is true that it was Paul Brunton's book which made Bhagwan world-known, in the West it is a fact that it was B.V.N.'s book that drew Brunton to Bhagwan. B.V.N. was a brilliant lawyer in Salem, 90 miles from Arunachala. He was a very famous politician, a great orator and writer with a razor-sharp intellect that drove straight into the heart of a subject and extracted its truth. It is thanks to his questioning mind that we now have this brilliant book that attracted an audience of communicators who became the West's gateway to Advaita Vedanta. God's divine play, Leela, however, is unpredictable and a mystery. When he was at the zenith of prosperity, name and fame, a massive family tragedy gave B.V.N. a rude shock. 2 of his children drowned in the well in his very own yard right before his eyes. All he could do was watch helplessly without being able to save them. Unable to bear his grief, he resigned from the Bar Council and gave up his political career. He disappointed many Indian leaders because talented, dedicated individuals like him were needed for India's freedom struggle. He came to know of Bhagwan and steered straight to Ramanasramam. On seeing Bhagwan, he fell at his holy feet. Bhagwan accepted him with a single glance, directed him to a cave and asked him to meditate there. As a good disciple, he unquestioningly abided by his master's instruction. He spent 3 years in seclusion, in complete contemplation and meditation. However, he realized that there was something which was drastically needed, a book on Bhagwan's life. He must bring out the biography of Bhagwan, a living sage. Nobody knows about his life except for a few instances which may even be factually incorrect. This was a demanding responsibility because even though Bhagwan was not under a vow of silence, he did not talk much and then too rarely about himself. BVN sought Bhagwan's permission and Bhagwan graciously consented. He started the process of asking Bhagwan questions. Bhagwan did not always respond because sometimes he did not feel like talking, but BVN was persistent. He doggedly followed Bhagwan wherever he went, even slept next to Bhagwan at night. Whenever he asked a question, his whole attention would be focused on receiving an answer. He has recorded that sometimes it would take days, a week, or even more to get one simple answer from Bhagwan. But BVN remained relentless. His persistent determination made him unique, and that is why even the mention of his name draws so much reverence from every old devotee of Bhagwan. He not only questioned Bhagwan, it was his nature to elicit details straight from the source. Therefore, he travelled to Trichuzi, Madurai and Dindigul to speak to Bhagwan's associates and kin. Whenever he received any information about Bhagwan's relative or friend in some village, he would go there immediately. He would ply them with questions. However, perfectionist as he was, he would verify every fact with Bhagwan. Therefore, everything written in the book is accurate and the truth. One of the most important things that old devotees told me was that we owe the vivid account of Bhagwan's death experience at Madurai to B.V. Narasimha Swami. His incessant questioning drew from Bhagwan every minute detail of the experience he had had when he was a 16-year-old boy. Bhagwan said there was no time and space in his transformation that made him abide steadily in the self. B.V. Narasimha Swami condensed these details and presented the final draft to Bhagwan, who approved it and titled the book Self-Realization. Once this was done, Narasimha Swami put up a hut next to his cave for cooking. He wanted other sadhakas to build similar huts and help them in this. He also trained them in a simple way of cooking to save them time and money, which allowed each sadhaka to spend the maximum time in Bhagwan's presence. Through his meticulous sadhana, he set an important example of how the master's teaching was to be followed. He was actually the first person to form the Palakottu community. When this was over, he cultivated his natural tendency, a vasana, for singing bhajans and dancing emotionally for God. He kept pleading with Bhagwan, "Bhagwan, this is my nature. Will you please guide me? I would like to sing bhajans and follow the devotional path." Bhagwan kept postponing his reply, but BVN did not give up. Finally, Bhagwan advised him, "Go to the west of India to pursue your path of devotion."